Let's play the Dimir Monument deck here. All right, so another Monument Brew. We trophied with the Mono Red build. The Mono Red build's been pretty good. Next challenge, we'll probably play that unless this one just goes super duper well. But this is a much more controlling build, trying more so to use Monument as a. I guess both all the builds have been like card advantage engine that kills your opponent really quickly in some situations. More pairing it with Frog and Force and Metallic Rebuke and Push compared to Galvanic Blast and Marco Sharko and Inti. I think Lrien Revealed is a really cool tool where this gets you up to enough blue cards for Force of Negation, and it also triggers Monument, lets you cast Asmo. I think it's a nice little include here. Yeah, I don't think we've got anything else too crazy here. Let's just jump in. Yeah, no Basim in this build. It was very difficult to cut Basim. But it was, it's like, the thing is, Basim really fell apart when it became clear that the package of Inti, Mishra's Bauble, and to a lesser extent Mox Opal was kind of too many cards to include. I also disliked playing Urza Saga when I have 8 double 2-drops. So if I have like Frog Counterspell, Frog Basim, I don't like to play Urza Saga, but I think it's okay if you have just. With Mox Opal, it's more okay too. But it's okay if you just have Frog. It's better at least. So I think it makes sense to cut the Basim, understanding that we just couldn't test this package that way. Okay, we can keep this hand. We can turn to the Asmo by getting a Watery Grave off the Lrien Revealed if we don't draw Black Source off the Wraith. Let me get the Mox Field up to date for y'all. Opponent's on a mold of 5 here. I did, yes, I considered Imri. Yes, I considered Imri. Okay, and I talked about it 2 seconds ago. It's just Imri plus Bauble is just like, it's just too much to fit in. Opinions on Snare in a meta versus a card like Dovin's Veto. Dovin's Veto is such a weird card to compare it to, but Spell Snare is a very good modern card. It's even good against Eldrazi. Good one. Alright, looking for a Black Source. No Black Source, so we'll find it next turn. Mold of 5 Wooded Foothills. Could be Eldrazi, could be Dimir. Aren't Dovin's Veto better than Snare against Eldrazi? I don't know why we're talking about Dovin's Veto. Like this, why are we not comparing? Like, I would play any number of Counterspell over any number of Dovin's Veto right now. It's a blue-white card compared to a mono-blue card. I don't know. Maybe it's better, but like Snare is good against Eldrazi. It isn't the best possible card against Eldrazi. It's one of the best possible cards against Breach. But Eldrazi plays like 10 2-drops, so it's nice that it's incidentally good against the big mana deck, is what I'm saying. But I still don't know why Dovin's Veto is like the card. It's not a comparable card to Spell Snare either. It's just it's very confusing to me. Yeah, could have been Storm too. They do choose Karn. Good to have the Force of Negation in our hand here, of course. Like, the card Counterspell barely sees any modern play right now. Why are we talking about Dovin's Veto? Ten of Eldrazi, what's going on? I don't know. Just matchup lottery. I mean, Eldrazi is very good and very popular. Really happy to draw a blue card here. Dovin's Veto is good against Spellshare Breach. Driven! I don't want to talk about Dovin's Veto, please! I really do love to argue about cards on the internet, though. What the fuck are we talking about? Eldrazi Temple, Bajuka Bog, Worldbreaker card. Chooses a temple. They're in this card, mystery card, mystery card. I'm gonna be getting a Nihil Spellbomb. I'll be popping it on their upkeep because of the World Breaker. I don't want them to be able to respond. Now am I even making a second construct? I think the answer is no. So you hit your opponent for 9. Upkeep the Nihil Spellbomb for Emrakul. And, you know, we're okay if they put the World Breaker back into their hand. Solar System with the 6 months. Thank you, welcome back. And it says, no, my Emrakul. Any chance Grim Lavamancer is viable, included Mardu Ketramos? Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought, I think. Yeah, kind of easy sideboarding. Wait, sorry. I dragged the Fatal Pushes out, put them back in. Why do I do that sometimes? So weird. Consign bug is fixed, to my knowledge. Yeah, Grim Lavamancer is pretty interesting with Ketramos. The effect of dealing 2 damage is okay at the moment. I like the thought a lot. I like the thought. It's like, it's definitely the start of something. Yeah, Monument's a really, really nice card. Did I update the title? I may not have updated the title. Looks like I didn't. Not that that was going to happen, but does Ketramos kill a potential Death Red unban? Maybe. I mean, Ketramos is really broken. It'll be really, really broken with with Death Red Shaman. I did the other day say, just do it. Just unban the Shaman. Where it's like, it does seem like a lot of these cards... almost every card on the modern ban list would not break the format. There's like maybe 10 that like would absolutely break it. And I think it becomes a question of, is modern a better format for having a card in it or not? I think the looting and Opal and Green Sun twin bans have really kind of changed my philosophy a little bit, and I just don't think Shaman would be really a breaking card anymore. So I don't know. I would certainly not want Wizards to unban any card without extensive testing, of course. But it's seeming like that one could be fine. So setting myself up to draw Monument here. Cookbook Opal plays so well together. If I draw Monument, I'm just trashing this frog. Daredevil would be a nice pickup too. Can do a lot with Daredevil here. Is it time for Beanstalk to come back? Beanstalk is the most broken card draw spell ever printed in Modern. It was better than the One Ring. It should never be unbanned. But yeah, let's not do ban talk. Let's not do theoretical talk. I'm playing a cool new Modern brew right in front of your eyes, you know. As much as I love to argue about cards on the internet, I think it's good to sometimes focus on the Magic the Gathering. It's a good pickup here. Let's go ahead and discard that Delta. Do you need fast mana from Opal for Monument to be good, or can be played outside of Mox Opal shells? In theory, it could be played outside of Mox Opal shells. I think that I've even become a little bit interested in the thought of trying it in a... what are we getting here? World Breaker, probably? I've been kind of interested of the idea of trying Monument in a... just put a card in hollow one. But for the most part, Mox Opal is pretty great, and it pairs with Cookbook, which pairs well with Monument. So in all of your Cookbook Monument shells, you're going to want to play Opal. That's a nice pickup. Am I getting another Cookbook? I already have the Nihil Spellbomb, so I guess so. And an Opal. Crack the Spellbomb and try to draw Consign. I think it's just okay if they cast World Breaker and exile a token. I've got another one coming. My one token's about to be like an 11/11. I think it's okay. Was Damping Sphere not cited in? I don't think Damping Sphere is optimal against Eldrazi, especially not the Utopia Sprawl builds of Eldrazi. It has moments where it would be good, for sure. But it's bad more often than it's good, or not enough more often. The Damping Spheres are for Titan and Storm, not for Eldrazi. They're going to cast the World Breaker, I think. Interesting that they go after the Saga instead of one of the constructs. It seems like this could work out badly for them. Is there any reason for me to cycle the Spellbomb now? It doesn't really seem like that's the case. Could cycle at end of turn, maybe. Getting some lag. Opinion on the Break the Ice. I like Break the Ice. Pitch Perfect Ninjas. I think this swirling card is really, really bad. 3 Force of Air, 3 Push is kind of funny. I feel like you got to play the 4th push. I don't know. I don't really want to think too much about ninjas, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm glad you're having fun with it. It's an archetype we've played a bunch in the past, and it's one that there's just decks that I'm just kind of burned out on, and ninjas is one of them. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this here. So these are going to be 13/13s. Opponent can't double block. They're going to have to chump block one of them. I tried Monument and just got jolted awake, and it felt bad, but I'm also not a good deck builder. It felt better in Hollow One out of the board. Yeah, so as far as Monument goes, would we not just main deck it in Hollow One? I don't know. 3 mana is a lot of mana. But Monument's also really absurd, so kind of hard to say. Okay, playing an Urza Saga. I'm going to attack with my 2 constructs. Chump chump. Feeling pretty good about our spot, let's say. It's a bit of a slow card for Hollow One, makes sense out of the board. Yeah, maybe for Black White. If they're not close to dead by turn 3, you're probably in trouble as Hollow One. Well, you're not in trouble. Yes, I would say if your opponent's not dead or close to dead by turn 3, you're in trouble. But I would also say that if you resolve... Also, should I force? I think I should force this. Because now a Karn just can't really do anything. If you resolve a Monument, then you're not in trouble. So there's that, right? I wouldn't feel like I'm in trouble if I have resolved a Monument on turn 3. Sounds really good if we draw a land. One problem is we have 4 Lrien Revealeds in this deck. We are on the draw with a Street Wraith, though. So, it's kind of weird. I'm actually going to go population size, not 53, but I'm going to do 50 because we have 3 more Street Wraiths in the deck. I think that makes sense. And then our sample size is going to be 2. And then we have 17 successes. Okay, the calculator's lagging today, as well as the... Hold on, opponent. I got my calculator out. Yeah, Dino got the level 1 no-hit run at got run 3, beating every FromSoft game, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, second row, in a row without taking a hit and without leveling up any of his characters in any of the games. Okay, let me find a different hypergeometric calculator. Don't do it, it's a trap. I mean, I think the math is probably in our favor because this hand is like one very, very good if we hit a land. Okay, so 7, but again, it would be almost like an easy keep if we didn't have Lrien Revealed as like 4 of our lands. We're 56 to hit. Let's mulligan. Should get. I think if these were lands, the math would have been in our favor for. If that's worth anything, I don't know if that's worth anything, but I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, 2 years of attempts. His reaction's up on the YouTube channel. I was sadly at the gym when it happened. Happened on Sunday. Very exciting. Excited to see what he does next, too. If you stream to YouTube, I'd probably watch you there. The thing is, it would have to be on another channel, which I just think it dilutes everything too much. But it's an interesting thought still. Should have kept the 7 for sure. So, yeah, when does Night Rain come out? I see a lot of people doing like the tests of it or whatever. This lets me turn to Construct. Maybe, I guess I should have played the Opal out, dang it. May 30th? Okay, so still a while. Do you think there's a noticeable play draw diff in Modern? Yeah. Play matters a lot right now, for sure. Turn 1 Asmo was too greedy. No, we should have played turn 1 Asmo, sorry. I don't know why I didn't think about it. I think it was like maybe just drawing the cookbook kind of wasn't on my radar. Against Domain. Domain's probably a fine matchup overall. Thanks for the content. What do I think about Dovin's Veto? I've come to hate Dovin's Veto today, I guess. Unfortunately. Am I gonna get stubbed? Oh, okay. We don't stub our toe too bad here. My opponent says, wow. Which is interesting. Kind of a low bar for a wow, if I'm going to be honest. You know, one thing I like about the black-white Ketchermos deck a lot is that you're a Solitude deck, so your play-draw disparity isn't quite as great. Your opponent mulls to 5, gets hit by Ragavan twice, but they play a second cookbook? Wow. It's funny. How can you turn 1 Asmo? You just discard, I think your Mox Opal's on, you discard a thing to cookbook, turn 1 Asmo off the Mox Opal. I've been really interested in the fact that Ketchermos and big domain cards dodge Wrath Disguise. I think there might be something there. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's also true that Kavu is a domain card that triggers Ketchermos. A lot going on. Yeah, that might have been a pity wow. Kind of hard to determine what kind of wow that was. Should we add emotes to Mono? I think I like Arena's emote system more than Magic Online's chat system. Main deck Unlicensed Hearse. Good morning, Spikelings. So they're Ketchermosing, I'm assuming. Maybe it was a wow, your deck is cool. I mean, I don't feel like this was a mean-hearted wow. I do think it's a very funny wow. So it's nice that they have flames. We can discard our cookbook for this to survive. Do you ever think about Unmarked Grave to put Daredevil in the Ardent cookbook decks? I've done that sometimes, especially when you have like incidental value from it, but it's not usually something that I feel like is very good. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, Mingu trophied with Ketchermos and Domain Zoo really early. This is the third counterspell they've hit off the Ragavan, which is kind of funny. Then they flames me for 4, so I go down to 7. They got 1 card in their hand. They also have this Hearse, which could be a 4-power creature. Gotta watch out for that. I was thinking I would draw this for some reason. I could feel it coming. Opponent's got to read. I think we have to discard this and draw a card. I think we do this instead of keeping the second cookbook. Just Monument and Multiples is so crazy. They do another burn spell now because the Hearse. Like, the problem with cards like Unmarked Grave and Buried Alive is that not only do they not impact the board, which, you know, is sometimes okay in slower environments, but they also just give your opponent exactly what your plan is for the next turn. Like, it puts no question in the heart of your opponent what they need to play around next turn, you know? Did any bruise the preview card? Yeah, so we've played a little bit with Scales. We haven't had a super cohesive, focused Scale stream yet, though. Okay, another Flames, and I'm dead. Where it seems like we need to give it a bit more focus. We have a really exciting build with Gearhulk and Marketback Walker that is tentatively the backup deck to this one, but I don't know if we're going to get to it today or not. So one nice thing is that Shadowspear lets us kill a Ketramos. Kind of minor, though. Honestly, Force just protecting Frog is kind of nice. Let's oh look, I guess Consign is Consign's just really good against them. Counters Scion, counters Binding, counters Hers. How did the first Monument deck go? We've trophied with it. We're 11-4 overall. Consign counting. No, yeah, Consign's pretty good against Domain Zoo. Yeah, I can counter Flage, Helix sometimes is nice. You can like Relic or Spellbomb them. Yeah, of course, Goblin Engineer let us down again. It always does. And it'll let us down again, I'm sure. Nan with 8 months, thank you, welcome back. Any updates on Wide Spike playmat in my game? I don't think we're going to do the Wide Spike playmat. I feel like the beam kind of died. It also kind of seemed like it wasn't worth the time and the money, probably, despite demands. I was a little bit worried I would just lose a lot of money on it. And on the game is coming along. It's like everything worth doing in life. It's just a lot more effort and energy than you expect it to be, but I've been having fun with it. I've been working on it every day, and I'm excited to talk more about it. Probably towards the end of this year. Hopefully towards the end of this year we can get something out there. Can I ask how many 7+ drops you need to play an Ugin's Lap deck? It just kind of depends. Like, I think you can go as few as 8. You can go higher. You don't usually want to go more than 12. If you have cantrips, if you have looting, if you have Ancient Stirrings, it kind of changes the dynamics some. How important is the Ugin's Labyrinth to your deck can change the dynamics some. I guess I'm keeping this. What's on the multi-6? Playmats are expensive. I print a bunch with my art for conventions. Not been worth it. Yeah, that's kind of what I had heard from some people, and I'm not sure. Might have been fine. Take your time, opponent. Definitely some lag going on. Alright, cycle the Wraith. My opponent decides to keep 7 after a long time. It doesn't really feel like they're lagging. It feels like they're taking their time, but I could be wrong. Can you give me the license to make wide spike playmats to give you kind of the profit? It is generally not a great strategy to give strangers... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shock here. Strangers on the internet a license to your face. I would imagine. So laggy. I actually, it's not lagging on my end. I don't know if it's lagging on their end. They say the lag is tragic, so it seems that it is. I've been sub for 3 years. I consider us fringe, not strangers. So I appreciate that, but you don't get to have the license. That's okay. All right, cycle this. Very painful triple Street Wraith. Hopefully we can recoup some of this with the Psychic Frog. We could consign the Ragavan trigger. One weird thing is I'm not really experiencing much lag on my side this game, but my opponent is. It just seems so like random who experiences it. Maybe we can do some troubleshooting here. Although, yeah, no, we are lagging also. When I go, yeah, someone already took a Spiring Spike on Blue Sky, and then I can't remember like what steps we had to jump through, but it was like weirdly annoying, and I feel like I had to send like a confirmation email to them, so it's like it's fine. I'm inspiring Timmy over there. How bad is it today? It's pretty random. Pretty random. It's not quite Balatro high score bad, but not too far off. So they're probably holding up a Leyline Binding here. And with that in mind, what do we want to do? Seems like just make a Construct token would be my plan. Are we at Trophy Mage Monument stage? I think that's not super good sounding. The graveyard there in Dothatrium. I think we're letting that go. Did you ever make a Battle of Wits deck? You know, I saw. Yes, I have. Every Magic streamer's done Battle of Wits, of course. You know, I saw one comment on YouTube recently about how it's kind of bad that I spend so much time talking to chat during the stream and it's a detriment to the content. And I do agree, YouTube watchers, but I think maybe YouTube watchers don't understand how slow Magic Online is sometimes, and it's just impossible to not... It's impossible to just focus on the game. Like, it's like 3 minutes before game action happens. Yeah, we're at Balatro 0.5 speed right now. Lag is back. Seems to be back. The reason it's back also seems to be definitely the new yellow cards with the animations on them that you can't disable. It seems to be definitely the case that that's the problem, right? Like how could it not be that? I even wonder if that's possible. That anyone could consider that that's not the cause of this. So what can we do about it? What can we do so that every single set that releases, or every time we release some product like this doesn't happen? I don't know. Okay, so drawing this cookbook, I think that I'm grabbing Mox Opal. I think that I will be playing a frog and playing a cookbook. Let's cast the cookbook first. I haven't seen gold card in a while. So I bought a couple gold Ketramoses because I needed them. I think I'm actually leaving this back. I needed them for the events over the weekend, and two of them were the gold ones because that's all GoBots had, and they had animations on them that were impossible to disable. Yeah, like the gold foilings and I like that Wizards or Daybreak is working on these cool animations to get cool versions of cards, but they make the entire client laggy like this every time they add them, and they just keep making the same mistake over and over again without figuring out how to stop it, and I don't know what to do. Yeah, so we should have flied that frog in response to hers. Too busy rambling. Okay, don't care so much about this. They don't have binding up either. I don't think gold borders are the primary problem. It's the potato servers. I mean, it's both, right? So it's like, of course, it's like the servers are really bad, or like there's a server issue, and because of the server issue, they can't add any of the animations. But I don't know why they seemingly insist on adding these animations when it is this bad, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to go discard Ovalchase Daredevil, make a treasure token. My opponent responds now. Then I get my thing back, draw a card. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Why do you need 17 arts and frames for each card? I agree completely. It's way too much. I think this is a pretty common opinion, I would guess, but Mystic counter from on Frog from Monument Entering. No, they have the hearse up, so we could have got the free counter from Monument Entering if they didn't have hearse up, but it was important to play around the hearse in this way. Because we don't want them to be able to go exile the Daredevil before the Monument's in play, because then we don't get these triggers. They surgical here. I could counter this. I think we'll just let it happen. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I, like every other Psychic Frog player, just always forget this until the second the surgical resolves. I could just counter this with the frog. I don't know what's wrong with me that I always forget this. I guess I still will exile here. I don't know why I like this. Very tough to maintain focus too with all the lag. Do my best. Feeling pretty good about our spot in this game. I can go equip here, and then I can hold up either Consign or Rebuke by discarding a card to make a treasure token on my opponent's turn. I guess that's just kind of worse, so let's not do that. Lavamancer, Catcher, most deck tech. I do think it's interesting. So the last time I played Mardu Ketramos, I really felt the lack of Solitude. Like, Solitude and Ketramos are just best friends, and they deserve to be together. So I would certainly be interested in playing that card in here, maybe just over the Prismatic Endings. Like, Ephemerate is also like a really nice tool to play, but I think Solitude just with like Ketramos and Overlord is kind of fine. But yeah, I think this the big problem here potentially is that looting and Overlord are your only graveyard fillers. I don't know if you want one more, and then it's tough to do that and add Solitude. But with Lava Man, with everything, it seems like you want more things that can fill the graveyard. It's the short answer. In fact, I would even guess that potentially part of the reason my opponent's lagging is maybe they have an animated Ketramos. I don't know. Have I started working on the black-white colorless K-Command version of Ketramos? Not yet. We played a lot of Ketramos last week, and I just wanted to have a little bit of a buffer for a couple days before we circle back. But I do want to do an Emeria build, a Control build, a Mox Opal build, a K-Command build. So there's a lot to do. Potentially a Birthing Ritual build, too. All right. Replicate Consign. Opponent definitely should have cast this before attacking, right? All right. Going to game 3. Think Demonic Junker Crab Abomination has any viability? Yeah, no, I'm interested in that for sure. I like Crabomination. I think it's very good with the black affinity creature, the 2/1. And I had been feeling for a while needed another good black affinity card, and this is potentially one. So that is something I want to circle back to. One I would like to circle back to. Oh, they wanted Rebuke mana. That makes sense. Yeah, we've had a lot of people talk about Ketramos and Espergorios. I do think it is... This hand would be really good if this Sewers was untapped. I'm obviously going to keep, though. Yeah, I don't know. So, like, one weird thing about playing Ketramos and Espergorios is that more and more and more, it seems like this archetype is an archetype that is moving away from the Gorios part of Gorios and just into, like, a value pile. Turn 1 Ragavan all 3 games. Well, I was about to say I can't afford to cycle 2nd Wraith, but drawing a 3rd Wraith lets us do it. I guess I should cycle this one. Okay, so I could hold this Wraith for Monument, which could be fine, but if I find a Mox Opal here, it's a really big deal. Probably did also mulligan and put a Leyline into play, so we'll see if they have a removal spell for the Asmo. Obviously, a lot of life to lose on turn 1. It's weird that the lag has been this bad this match. It was not this bad earlier today, but it's getting there. Opal doesn't matter until next turn, though. Oh, sorry. Of course, yeah. I'm very unlikely to register Serum Powder and Ketramos, it seems. Alright, I'm going to just try a restart. Is this bad for me all night last night? Yeah, it just seems to be kind of random, too. Yeah, for some reason I thought I could get the Metalcraft online and cast the cookbook. It's pretty tough to focus with all the lag, if I'm going to be quite honest. They do have the binding. We don't have Consign up, of course. 3 cards in their hand. I'm going down to 11. They exile another copy of Monument. 3 cards in their hand. Do they have a second land? They do have a second, or do not have a second land, rather. Now, it seems important to me to hold up a Consign for a Scion this turn. If your collection affects lag, why wouldn't opponents? Would explain why it varies from match to match. Yeah, that could be it seems like a theory for sure. They exile an Asmo, which is kind of unfortunate because that would be my best draw by a lot. When are we playing Black White Blink Ketramos again? So I don't plan streams more than 1 day out. I would be likely to play that again in another high-profile tournament. Hopefully they don't have a counter back. Nice. I'd be likely to play that in another like big tournament if we have one coming up. We don't really have one coming up is the thing. They do have a surgical. This kind of stinks. Not the end of the world. But there's also like several other Ketramos decks to get to that we're going to be playing on stream in leagues before then. Untapped land is best draw. I'm not sure now that we have had our Daredevil surgicaled. So let's see what we're drawing next turn, I guess. A Mox Opal. Alright, the Ragavan's going to hit the Mox Opal, so we just easy graveyard it. Stressful game here. They got 2 cards in their hand. Hopefully we can rebuke something this turn. There's not too much relevant they can hit, but there's one card I really don't want to see. Lrien Revealed is the card flipped over. It's a little annoying if they go land cast it, but the card I didn't want to see here was Psychic Frog, of course. Okay, they just do nothing, which is not good for me. because they're probably going to be able to counter my monument, but seems like we need to cast this. Okay, well, seems like I never cast the cookbook here. Seems better as discard fodder. I think I disagree, but I guess I could be wrong. Now I guess we're dead to Tribal Flames. Yeah, not drawing a card main phase because I want to be able to have Rebuke up, but the Rebuke is maybe not doing anything here. They do have some 3s in the deck. Yeah, so yeah, when I say I can't Rebuke, what I'm not saying is that I can't cast the Rebuke. What I'm saying is my opponent has too much mana for Rebuke to do anything. All right, we need an Asmo. Guess Fatal Push could do it too. Let me double check if I have the second island. Do you have the second island? So in theory, I can I sacrifice 2 foods to go up to 11? You don't really see why not. I can also, like, does cycling Lrien Revealed help me at all here? So I can go Mox Opal, cycle Lrien Revealed, make 2 treasures, play an island for turn, and then on my opponent's turn, I can discard the Delta, and I can make 2 more treasures, and I could just go up to 11. I have clicked on the Mox Opal. It's very odd that the lag is this bad this match. Well, I'm very curious to see what it's like next round. Dead to Bolt either way. If I go to 11, I'm actually not dead to a Bolt or Flage. I'll be 1 ahead. Does 11 matter? You can just go up to 8 and draw 2. Yeah, 11 matters because I'm not dead to Bolt or Flage. But I could also potentially... No, I think it's fine to do it that way. Demonic Tutors, thank you for the 35 freaking months. It's so long. So I'm going to play my island. Yeah, play my island, cast Cookbook, go to 11. Yeah, so yeah, their turn, I'm just going to make 2 treasures, sack 2 foods, F6. Deal 6. I don't... Dealing 6 doesn't seem like it's better than doing this, does it? And just only losing to Tribal Flames. And then being able to untap with triple Cookbook, double Monument in play. Draw 3 first. Oh, sorry, I have the other Cookbook. Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, I could have drawn and then I could discard another one. Sorry about that. I did think about it. For some reason, I just missed it. Monument's a tough card to play with. Right, they flip a Lrien Revealed, which they could cast, and if they find flames, they can cast flames. Exciting. Maybe the lag is an intentional choice to just build the tension every single turn of every single game. Brutal Leyline Binding. And you know they found that off the Ragavan's Lrien Revealed too. No, you found 2 bindings. Somehow this is worse than Tribal Flames. Because now I can't even like really Asmo my way out of this. Oh no, they are... Kavu, okay. I mean, we could still find an Asmo. Yeah, no Asmo in the yard. Let's just see if this is a Fatal. I think Fatal Push maybe keeps me alive. between double food sack and push. Okay. Dead. Damn it. Long match. Mulligan this hand. Keeping this one. Let's go and put back the Lrien Revealed, I think. Actually, yeah, let's put back the Lrien Revealed. Lag seems better. Is there scheduled maintenance for tomorrow? Does anybody know? I haven't seen anything about it, but sometimes it pops up without you knowing. I was definitely hoping this was a relic and not a Thoughtseize. We keep the Opal on top so we can make constructs next turn. But did not do a great job about playing around Metallic Rebuke that they knew about. Oh. Okay. Could draw a monument, so I think I do this first. And then I just pass. And if they felly, I can discard Daredevil and Rebuke. When does this Final Fantasy set come out? Is it like a summer set? Probably do have to go for Saga tokens over Frog here. Frog's a little fragile. June, okay. Is there any set coming out before Final Fantasy? After Tarkir? That's hugely bad for us. Okay, it's a little early to concede, but devastatingly bad. Token scheme sketchy against a Flicker deck. Well, we're on a mulligan and we got our big engine card Thoughtseize. We need to like start trading resources. It's not super good for me. I already have my Nihil Spellbomb used, but it wouldn't even stop them here. Just kind of cookbooked here. Average Joe with the 4 years. Welcome back. Alright, so Thoughtseize resolves. Can't block the Emperor or the Overlord effectively. They are at only 7 life, though. It's kind of interesting. Is there enough synergy between Sign of Draco and Ugin's Lab to overcome the anti-synergy? I don't think so. I mean, it seems like you would need... There's not enough support for that in general, if that makes sense. I feel like this is something that needs more support. Oh, interesting that they're targeting Felia? That's a card you could get back with your Overlord here. That's got to be like the actual single worst target on the board right now. Or the yards, rather. They could have gone after my Daredevil and made me exile it with Frog. What about letting Thoughtseize resolve and not using Cookbook? This is to save the Daredevil from the Emperor. I think that it's just better to get the 2 counters on, but maybe I'm wrong. They grab a second Ketchermos here. Okay, I'm down to 8. I mean, they could have Idyllic Range in their deck for the Felia. Yeah, I think it's close. I think it's close. I think with them being at 7, we just want the extra counters. Also, with them punting like this, it's definitely the right way to do it. All right, let's go to game 2. Torpor Orb's coming in. 4th push coming in. Consign is also pretty good against them. Don't know how much room we have for it. I want to cut the Nihil Spellbomb. We can make room from 1 Consign that way pretty easy. They have a lot of graveyard hate. So let's play like 3. Consign's just so good against Flickerwiz, so good against Solitude. Good against Felia.
You want one?
That's okay, thank you.
Maybe later, but...
Yeah. Okay, on the play for game 2. It's black-white. Had a lot of hands like this today. Okay, let's dodge the Thoughtseize this time. Easily done. Alright, they seem to be F6, so I'm just going to do this now. Very good draw for sure. What, cut the Wraith? Wouldn't it be better than 61 with it? No, this is like a really common misconception about Street Wraith, but like if this was the case, you know, you would maybe see it more often, but Street Wraith is like, it's not just like a card that removes itself from the deck. It's more like, it plays more like a card that, how do I put this? That makes your mulligan decisions bad. Instead of just being a blank card that filters through. It is not just a freebie weebie. Maybe with the Mox Opal, because I just have... Yeah, let's get the Mox Opal here. Yeah, just makes your mulligans bad. Is kind of the only effect that I feel like that usually ends up having. They really just like didn't march yet. They didn't march the Saga. So weird. Yeah, I think that I am just gonna let this happen. Monument resolves. I play a cookbook, and we're just gonna make a treasure token to have Rebuke up here. Kind of a weird turn. I'm shocked that this March card is just in their hand somehow. Yeah, I haven't looked at Ketchermos Serum Powder. So, like, if there was a way you could, like, cast Ketchermos turn 2 with this plan, I would be a lot more interested. I guess this is why they held the March here. Maybe I need Force of Negation back in the deck, huh? Alright, let's draw a card. Alright, surely they don't have March double Wrath the Skies by turn 4. Returns no cards, but shows us they have more Wraths and Stony Silence in the deck. Pretty scary. Doom Foretold's that 4-mana enchantment. I don't think that card's very good, personally. Doom Foretold. Not Doom Foretold, Foretell. Wait, Doom Foretell is a different card than Doom Foretold. Is Orb a good enough card to include even subs to Asmo Search? Yeah, this black-white deck is super duper popular. This is an incredible card against them. Yeah, what is this Doom Foretell card? I don't know what it is. Lag's back. Wizards or why Daybreak Games? Why do you keep making new cards with animations on them every month? All right, guys, we're releasing new cards with animations on them. Okay, lag, it makes the client unplayable for a week. Good news, guys. We fixed the problem. We disabled the animations. And then we have 2 weeks of Magic Online being normal. And then we have more cards with animations printed. Every single month. The client can't handle animations. Stop until you figure out the problem. Just save the file, figure out how to fix it, maybe, and then implement them. But this is unbelievable how this keeps happening. Mobius, 37. Thank you. Welcome back. Got a lot of food tokens here. We're fed. Which was the one with the animations. The new gold finish line cards that are also like kind of universally disliked for whatever that's worth too, have the animations on them. All right, so we just win the game now. Okay, literally the moment I said now. Funny enough, MTG is the way to sell it. I mean, I like to play modern. I think the format is very interesting and cool right now. All right, let's keep this. Doing Force for Wrath? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sorry, we should be playing Force over some of the consigns. You got basic Swamp end of turn. That's really weird. What do we do about Stony? Blue, it's like kind of Psychic Frog or lose, I guess. Stony Silence is not so different from like Pithing Needle. I tell you what, that's what we do against Stony Silence, baby. I guess they misclicked on their land? I don't know. What's more information being leaked? 5-0ing a league or streaming the deck against me? Or like playing the deck against me on stream? Probably a 5-0, but I think it's kind of close. Gotta factor in YouTube views too. Yeah, PT is also standard, but disable the animations. Disable the animations and don't add any more Daybreak Games. Daybreak Games. Disable the animations on the gold cards.
I can't believe that's not a tweet. That's
I don't tweet anymore. This is I'm revolutionizing how tweets work. This is a tweet, baby. Also, it is kind of funny that also this is how long it takes to like I'm not still typing for some reason. Like this is like a weird like this is how long it takes to for the type to happen. Kind of ironic. All right, this is I've replaced tweeting. I've revolutionized it. This is my new platform. The top of the screen. Why this Daybreak game specifically? I don't understand this question. They're the one they're the one who are in control. They're the ones who keep printing new cards with animations, removing them when they break, and then being like, "All right, we fixed it." Every month it's like this. They add animations, it breaks the client, and then they remove them. It's kind of unbelievable. Alright, so they have a obviously graveyard hate here, so we need to maneuver around that. So let's go Cookbook. Discard Daredevil. Cast Mox Opal to force the issue. Do I think Sundial the Infinite would be a good addition to white black catcher decks? I think that card is really low card quality. It obviously synergizes with Felia and Solitude a little bit, but it seems unnecessary, especially when like you already have so much extra value in the archetype as it is. Probably better to just discard the Opal than to play the Opal and and get back a Daredevil that you discarded. I thought Wizards with the Moto developers. No, they've transferred it to Daybreak Games. Dredger's Insight resolves, I think. Kind of worse than Rumble here because they don't get the token. Also play Rumble. Cool. Whenever one or more artifact creature cards leave your graveyard, gain 1 life. When it enters mill 4, put a creature, artifact, or land from the mill cards into your hand. They choose Wall of Roots. They gain 1 life. I did see, Dino's level God Run 3 at level 1. Unbelievable. I'm so sad I wasn't watching live. Very, very happy for our friend. I guess with a second Opal, we can push the issue a little bit. Yeah, it was on Sunday. Yeah, like, what's crazy about Dino is, like, not only is he an absolute gaming god, being able to beat Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, Demon Souls in a row without taking a hit, without leveling up any of his characters in any of the games. But he's also just an excellent streamer. Like, the fact that he's able to do that and is also just very entertaining is, like, truly makes him a generational talent. It's only their graveyard, right? Yeah. Resolves. Because they get to gain like 2 or 3. Or 2 or 4 if they activate the Cauldron again. But I just still have 10 if I discard 3 here. Attack for 3. Do I still hold the record for most 5-0s? Probably. I don't even remember what the number was. It was 70 something. Sorry for the slow roll. How do you think the metagame for RC Charlotte will pan out? Do you think it'll mostly be the same as Portland or Catchamos and Friends shake things up? I would expect Catchamos to shake things up. I think the card's pretty busted. It also seems like Titan is picking up in popularity. I don't really know how we keep having this dialogue tree because Titan just literally is always, it's just always good, I think. But it does seem like Titan and Black White would be more popular probably. Kind of prefer feeding the wall to death. It just doesn't matter. My opponent is dead deterministically here with like no outs, so let's just kill them. I guess they get endurance themselves actually. Killing a 6/6 for 6 is too hard. So this is a funny comment. Like literally when I played against Canister in the Showcase Challenge on Saturday, both games, at least one, I'm pretty sure it was both games, but for sure one game, on turn 3 by Canister cast Titan, and there's no moment where Solitude does anything. There's no moment where Solitude that's in my hand is like possibly impactful in that game. This is just not this is just not true that kill the 6 mana for 6 and you're good to go. It's just, let's play one Force of Negation, no Nihil Spellbomb. It's turn 3. I have Solitude in my hand. I think I may even have cast like another interact. Oh no, I cast Relics, but I didn't have Relic up because I tapped out for Ketramos, which was that a mistake? But but I have Solitude in my hand. It's the Showcase Challenge. It literally is irrelevant that I can exile anything. Yeah, and it seems like against the bad Titan players, Solitude wins, and against the good Titan players, it doesn't. And it's this is an interesting dynamic. Happens all the time. So we can turn one Asmo with this hand. What would you want to next out of Titan if it got a ban? Probably Amulet of Vigor. One thing about Amulet of Vigor is this is a 1 mana card that makes way more mana than like what should be appropriate for a spell in Modern. I think, you know, it's your 1 mana Amulet of Vigor that's like insane in multiples. Like really regularly makes 20 mana on a turn. I don't know. Seems like Energy has a terrible Blink matchup. Been trying to figure out how to shore it up. Only thing I could think of is Celestial Purge. Any thoughts? Elish Dorn, Torpor Orb. I mean, Torpor Orb is, I guess, bad for you. It's kind of interesting with Flage, but let me think about this turn a little bit. Yeah, I think Elish Dorn seems to me to be a card that would go a long way. I feel like this frog is really important. Alright, let's discard the Rebuke. Get Rex Sage? I think Canister's trade without Amway got the job done with Splunking. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make this whole conversation be my personal revenge against Canister from the Showcase Challenge. It's like... And in fact, Spelunking existing is a big part of the reason why I kind of like the idea of banning Amulet. Oh, sorry, I guess this Asmo. Like, a big part of the reason why I like banning Amulet is because Spelunking still exists, and you still have fast, powerful kills with Spelunking, but they're just a lot more reasonable. And Amulet is, I think, the most broken card of the deck, and typically I like to ban the most broken cards in the deck. We live in a world that Temur Breach is the most popular deck, but people complain about Titan. Crazy. I literally, like, the propaganda for Titan is crazy, but one is, like, the gameplay against Titan is miserable, and it's been the same for a long time. Like, the big problem is that the gameplay is really bad, in my opinion. Where you have to sit and watch players take 10-minute non-deterministic turns. Breach turns are faster than that, and they are deterministic. It's also way, way, way easier to defeat Breach with sideboard cards than it is to defeat Titan with sideboard cards. So I don't want them to be able to block, I guess, the frog and sack the might, so let me activate it here. What's non-deterministic about Titan? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's like, I don't, maybe you just haven't been watching like any streams against it recently or whatever, but there's like been many times where my opponents are taking 10 minutes turns. I have one single piece of interaction that may or may not be good enough to defeat them. If you have no interaction, it's deterministic. But if you have a single piece of interaction, it's really, really often the case that their combo isn't deterministic and you have to like let them play through it. And also, it's just like, it's also, like, your Titan is such a difficult deck, you must make them play through it because they're capable of making mistakes. Like, it's just, you should never concede to Titan because it's so easy for them to just punt. Where it's like, that's not so much the case with Breach. But also, it's Magic the Gathering, and, you know, there's going to be a certain type of decks you don't like playing against. And for me, I have been playing against Titan in a very similar way for a long time. I feel like it's been very bad for the Modern format for a long time, and I am a big, long-time hater of it. And I think and I think the whataboutism too with Underworld Breach is not very productive. Even my opponent's Dom Harvey to make him play it out. Yes, actually, like this happened when I played against Canister, where it's like, if my opponent was anyone else in the world, like, you wouldn't think about it. You would make them play it out. But because it's Canister, people in the chat are going, "Oh, it's Canister. He'll get it." Like, you shouldn't give good players. You shouldn't make it even easier on good players. You know what I mean? You need to make them. You need to keep them honest too. Okay. I think I'm going for counters instead of food token or tokens. But I'm going to be discarding this for 3 damage probably. We could just have an option here. Do you think Titan's supposed to be banned? I would like to see Amulet of Vigor banned. I think not only like would this really help with the problematic part of Amulet, which are the like ridiculous 10-minute turns with millions of triggers, but it would also like Amulet is a broken card. It is a 1-mana card that makes like 10, 20 mana in a single turn. Amulet of Vigor is the best mana producing card in the modern format, and it's been that way for years at this point. So this is you know, I think kind of. Oh wait, they just have the combo here, don't they? Wait, no, they don't. Oh, this is infinite life. I see. So I guess let's see if we draw a Fatal Push. Although Fatal Push, I guess, doesn't even do it because it undies and they just start the loop again. Do you enjoy playing Titan? I think Titan's fun to play. It's fine. I like playing decks like it. So I need to think if we're gonna play this game out here. Realistically, think Amulet gets banned. I don't know. I'm not super interested in like realistically, like saying like this could be something that happens or doesn't happen. I'm interested in thinking about what should happen and not like trying to like do the hard part of like justify Wizards' stupid corporate decisions for them. You know. That puts this click infinite life. I understand. Can we beat them Cauldron against Youngness? I'm just thinking. I don't really think there's an avenue to victory. I'm just taking a moment. I have to say, Titan is the least defensive combo deck for me. It tends to not have interaction. This is, I mean, it has like a lot of Besaiju's and Pyroclasms, but I suppose it's more of a glass cannon. So Titan, calling Titan a glass cannon, I think, is incredibly odd. Where Titan is a deck that is incredibly resilient to discard counterspells and creature removal. It is only weak to moon effects. And it's not even that weak to Blood Moon because of the main deck Besaiju's. Like, so you just have like a bunch of main deck answers to the hate card too. So to even say that it has several vulnerabilities, I feel is just, it's just propaganda to call Amulet Titan a glass cannon. It is weak to moon effects, and it's not even that weak to them either. It's pretty weak to counterspells. I think it got much less weak to counterspells with the printing of Shifting Woodland. But counterspells are better against it than discard spells, and better against it than removal spells. I would say that's true. I would say that Amulet Titan is way more resilient than Underworld Breach. It is much easier for your sideboard cards to demolish Breach than it is for them to demolish Titan. It's super weak to counterspells. Titan is not super weak to counterspells. Titan, I think, is kind of weak to counterspells. But I don't know. I think super weak is... Like Titan can lose to counterspells, is how I would put it. It can lose to counterspells. But... It can also easily play through them. It folds to subtlety. I don't know, like, 1 subtlety you're beating every time. 2 subtleties you're beating a lot of the time. I don't know. I just kind of disagree. Yeah, super weak to Harbinger is true. Harbinger of the Tides is the one card in the format that's really good against it, and not many decks get to play it. Titan is weak to Elesh Norn. I mean, the card's 5 mana, so I don't know how weak it is to it. It's obviously very weak if it enters, but it's very hard to get it entered in time. It's also pretty easy for Titan to beat counterspells if it wants to. That's true too. Can you talk through decision making for regularly playing turn 1 Saga in the deck? When you have Monuments, you just like want to have as many cookbooks in play on the Monument turn as possible. Yeah, I feel like chat is just trolling at this point. I don't know. But this is also part of it. Like, Titan just has this crazy propaganda that keeps it legal. It's kind of ridiculous. Although this turn, maybe I'm getting Grafdigger's Cage. Yeah, I did see Donna beat the God Run 3. Very exciting. H-Rax for the 13 months. Thank you. Welcome back. This surveilled Yawgmoth is pretty crazy right now. The cage is going to be doing some work, though. Wouldn't have minded the frog. We can't cast it right now. I feel like both these cards are pretty relevant, so let's just keep this. Draw another cookbook. I think that's what I'm discarding since I'm about to get another one. Countering the Cauldron seems reasonable. We couldn't counter it, right? Oh no, so I guess I wasn't counting the cage as a rebukable card, I think. Yeah, so we could have countered it. That would have been correct. So maybe don't listen to anything I say, huh? I did consider Basim. It's a lot worse without the Emery's and Baubles, which I didn't feel like were going to be very easy to include. Beating Amulet is feasible with Harbinger and Magus. I mean, yeah, it's like just because the deck is beatable by two very specific cards that the deck also has answers for in the format, I don't think this is a very good argument, especially when this argument is like declines to remember that Titan is a deck that kills very consistently on turn 3. And if your Amulet Titan opponent kills you game 1, you're on the play for game 2, you play your Harbinger, your Magus, and like just drawing a Harbinger or Magus in game 3, having in your opening hand, you're still just going to be dead before you can deploy it a huge percentage of the time. So it's like the fact that there are two cards in the format that are like really, really good in the deck, and there are answers to these cards, and these cards are not fast enough in basically every game, or can be not fast enough in any normal game. It's just like, what are we talking about? Like, Titan can kill on turn 2 sometimes. I don't know. I feel like the deck is getting harder and harder to defend for me, and it's getting better and better with each set. The game plays really bad with it. It's very powerful. It's one of the most resilient combo decks in the format. Yeah, I am planning on going to Hunter Burton, yeah. So counting this is a little bit weird because of the Cauldron, obviously. So bad. Yeah, I don't think countering it is good. Yeah, I'm not sure what brought up the Titan talk exactly. Titan has a statistically lower win rate than Grinding Breach, doesn't it? Which combo do you think is faster, better, more resilient? I think Titan is, honestly. I know the overall win rate is lower, but it's also like it's just also super clear when like someone like Canister or Dom plays it, like versus like your average Titan player. It was like I know like this has like been memed to death, but the skill diff is like an actual real thing. It is actually just like a much better deck in the hands of really competent players than in the hands of your average player. So we need to start killing them with the Monument. Shadowspear does seem helpful in that goal. I guess it's a little. I guess I could maybe make a treasure token. No, let's just get third cookbook. The skill cap makes a case for it to not be banned, though. Not even your average Magic Pro is broken with Titan. Only your Titan specialists are. Is it such a... Yeah, I mean, I think this is an interesting philosophical question. Do Canister and Dom just get to have a big advantage in every modern tournament forever because they've mastered the deck, and in their hands it's broken and bannable, but in the hands of the average pilot it's not? And this is a sincere question I'm asking. Is this actually a good direction? Should it be the case that a deck is broken and bannable in the hands of a few players and fine and beatable in the hands of the average player? I think that I am in favor of not allowing decks to just be busted in the hands of the best pilots. But I do think it's genuinely interesting, and I'm interested to hear what people think. You know, isn't this similar to KCI? It is different though. It's different because I played the Pro Tour where KCI was legal. I was on a team with Zach Elsick, who just got second in the SCG Invitational with KCI. Arguably the best KCI player in the room, certainly like top 5. Zach had the worst performance out of any of our teammates that weekend because every single person whispered, and then to the teammate playing Zach, the teammate said, "I know." They knew that they were playing against KCI, and they mulliganed to a hand that was good against KCI. This happened every single match, and Zach had the worst record on our team. This is because KCI was a deck that was weaker to sideboard cards than Titan is, you know, and it was also, KCI was also a deck where any deck could play sideboard cards for it. You know, this is also like there's Damping Sphere, but Damping Sphere is just like not it in the face of Beseiju. Yeah, it seems like I just want to do this. Zach was on a team with your brother at that Pro Tour. I don't think Mickey has a brother. Okay, so we have a few food tokens coming down. Not bad because some players know how to play the deck to its fullest ability, while others don't know how to take that advantage. Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation, but it does just kind of sting on the highest level. You know, like this is just much less of a factor. Like you just kind of expect everyone to play at the highest level, and I don't know, maybe you should just play all Titan. So some good draws here. No, I didn't lose it. I don't know what started the Titan conversation, but I mean, I've had these feelings for a long time. Like, I think I've had this stance on Titan for months and months and months, and you know, everybody has one modern deck they really hate. For me, it's Amulet Titan. It's been that way for a long time, and I don't mean to derail the stream too much, but that's what the RC meta would look like. I think so too. Valuing skill of Magic is nice, but definitely not to the extent the deck would be bannable if everyone played at the same level. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think it's a big spectrum, and I don't feel super strongly about it. And I do think that this is why Amulet Titan has not been banned. Is that the average Titan player is just much worse than Dom or Canister. I know Titan shouldn't get touched until Breach loses something. Yeah, maybe. I think that's possibly the case. I do still feel like the average modern sideboard is like -2 Breach sideboard cards. I don't. Are we at the point where the average modern sideboard is like 5 sideboard cards for Breach? Because I feel like that's where we really need to be. Let's check Goldfish real quick. Or maybe we could finish this exciting long match. But I just think on average, they're like missing 2 maybe. Maybe that's not true. Yeah, I mean, I've been bringing in 11 as black-white, but like 7 of these cards are kind of more incidental for it. So we can draw. So Lrien Revealed, Street Wraith are lethal. Another Monument is lethal. So we have the treasure token. Nice. I guess we could have drawn a card here, but... This would a 7 mana 10,007. Alright, no more Titan talk. Alright, let's get a 4-1 prediction. Anna. This looks like a Channeler. What are the stats? Yeah, I could go with the Landfall Vine Lasher aggro deck. Probably try that when it comes out. Bowmaster isn't super common. What punishes one toughest modern? Yeah, there's Goblin Bombardment is weirdly enough kind of the new one. If the character is legendary, imagine Gory using it. Yeah, then your opponent has any creature. Listen, I tried to not talk about it anymore. Glass Cannon deck, by the way. Truly an unbelievable attribute to Titan. Glass Cannon. Do you think I'll hold the world record for most games with Ovalchase Daredevil? I might. I just might. And I think we have to keep talking about Titan. We're playing against it. My opponent lost connection. Okay, it was a Glass Cannon the whole time. When they lose connection, there's just like not much they can do. I think they're maybe restarting because of the lag. Yeah, I think we've summoned a Titan Cabal member to come and make the deck look bad. Definitely getting to hit for a lot with the frog here. Or hoping to hit for a lot with this frog. Also hoping to draw a land to have Rebuke up here. Sad. We could, I guess if they besage you my cookbook end of turn, we still have Rebuke up. We dodge? Maybe. Again, this is one of my big complaints. It's not only is Amulet Titan a deck that is very resilient, very fast, has like some really good incidental interaction with Besage, but also the turns that it wins take regularly 10 minutes. And they take 10 minutes weirdly because the skill ceiling is so high that you just have to your opponents just mess up enough of the time that you don't concede in these spots is like another really weird dynamic that we keep talking about over and over and over again. Okay, I have not seen this card. Emmet Shellick. Unsundered. 3 mana, 2/4 vigilance, ETB or attack, draw a card, then discard a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 more cards in your graveyard. 14's a lot. Like you're basically never flipping this on turn 4. But when you do transform it, during your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. So it's just Yawgmoth's Will on a 6/6 vigilance. I mean, it's pretty cool. Unearth? It's good to unearth, yeah. 14 cards is a lot of cards. My opponent, I'll say this. I strike from your memory the times my opponent is disconnecting and reconnecting when you're evaluating the ban worthiness of Amulet Titan here. If it was a 2-drop instead of a 3-drop, I tried Angoria simply as a more valuable looter. More valuable than which looter? Not even sure that's better than... It might be better than Tainted Indulgence. Yeah, let the jury disregard the lag here. Jace. Well, you should not play Jace, Rin's Prodigy, and Gorios anyways. I know that doesn't stop any of you. But Jace has like long since been worse than other options, and they printed a lot of other options, and people still play Jace for some reason. This is what you're lobbying for, Amulet Titan lobbyers. I think it's time to let it go. You just literally can't concede in these spots. It's so easy for them to mess it up. No, I'm dead. Maybe. I've seen people mess it up in this situation so much, but maybe it's just bad testing. And also, you don't know, like, they have 2 mystery cards in their hand. Could they have, like, the mirror pool in their hand and, like, this just makes it unable for them to combo sometimes? Lotus Bounce, Simic, T-West, Shifting. Yeah, maybe. Like, we are probably going to lose here, but I just hate to, like, let them have it, you know? Yes, this Aftermath in the handle we'll skip to, but it would have been nice if they showed us that earlier. I do have the Damping Spheres today. Bring in the Torpor Orbs too, against the Glass Cannon deck. Consign is strong. Consign's much worse against them than it used to be. What does Consign even do against them anymore? Like, countering a Titan ETB, we have 3 Torpor Orbs. Seems like not something I really want to be doing. Countering Amulet triggers doesn't seem very good. Doesn't counter T-West Transmute. It doesn't counter Mirror Pool. Like, I think it mostly just counters Titan ETBs. And you can counter Amulet too if they put it on the stack, but it can be tricky to do that because it's 1 mana. It counters Loomer trigger, but it doesn't stop Aftermath Analyst activated ability. So you're just going to have to hope that they go for Lumra. And then Lumra is also still like a really big creature. So I think I'm going to not bring him in, but I mean, I would love to hear an argument more for it. Like it can counter Amulet, but it's not super good at doing that. And also the Damping Spheres in theory turn off Amulets. Yeah, countering Saga Tutor is good. But like I'll say that I don't think it's not good against Titan when we have Torpor Orb. So it's mostly good against like Saga Tutor and like sometimes the Amulet. Very tricky to get the Amulet. So I just don't think we want to bring him in, but I certainly could be wrong. Like I think people are kind of used to like always bringing Consign against Amulet when they were on the ring. Now that the ring is banned, it's like much worse against them. They have to sack lands for the Aftermath win, so if you counter Lotus, sack, you stop the combo. I think you don't always stop the combo countering the Lotus Field sack is the thing. And it seems very, very risky to have your plan to be, I'm going to stop you from sacking lands to your Lotus Field. Like, surely this is not a big part of your plan at the very least. Do you like Consign versus Breach? I think it does like nothing against Breach either. Nothing's an exaggeration, but I'm not a big fan though. Okay, so we're going to save the Wraith for later. So yeah, Breach has 14 Cola spells, but what are they? Grinding Station, not a relevant card to counter. The Moxen, Consign is not a card that lines up well against Moxen. They're 0 mana cards. Bauble doesn't line up well against Bauble. I don't think that there's a good argument for bringing it in. Could be good to wait on this. I think I'm gonna not though. Okay, so let's hold up the Rebuke. Why is Grinding Station not good to counter? Because it's not too tough for them on their combo turns to just replay it. Like, countering Grinding Station is an incredibly unreliable plan against Breach. It doesn't do nothing, and it's basically like, it's almost just a Spell Pierce, like counter unless you pay 2 more. But it's like much worse than Spell Pierce because that's all it does is like make you pay 2 more on your Grinding Station turns. Which is if we're talking about sideboard cards you could play against Underworld Breach, and like you're comparing a Consign to a Spell Snare, a Force of Vigor, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Draneth Magistrate, an Aven Interrupter, like there are just so many better options. Is the point I'm trying to make here. I think we're just going for card draw still. Not a bad one. So I can go Psycho Lrien Revealed, make 2 treasure tokens, cast Damping Sphere, hold up Metallic Rebuke. Dodged Beseiju. They see the hilarious 4-color Frockulous deck that runs so much Breach hate and they still lost to top 8 in the Saturday Challenge. I didn't see it, no. I mean, this is a big part of the reason why I feel like I've been beating it with my black-white list, is that a big part of my sideboard plan involves Wrath the Skies and White Orchid Phantom, so you have sideboard cards against Breach, and then you have sideboard cards against their Sagas and Imris and stuff, and like you just 2-for-1 them into dust. Like, I think, only cards that are good against Breach it can be a losing plan. While main deck Damping Sphere. Main deck Damping Sphere. And main deck Torpor Orb. With looting to loot them away. But also, and main deck Stony Silence. Oh, and main deck Leyline of the Void. I missed that too. Wow, that deck is crazy. Yeah, it doesn't look like a very good deck. Unfortunately. All right, go to game 3 on the draw here. It's interesting, though. I think they definitely would catch a lot of people by surprise. Yeah, I do think I like Force better on the draw. Maybe the first Consign's better than the first Force on the draw. But it's also like, I like the Force counters Pact and Green Sun. Like, countering Pact on some of these combo turns is super duper nice. Alright, let's mulligan this with no sideboard card on the draw. Go to 5. Well, we got our sideboard cards. We're on a mull to 5. But my land is a Lrien Revealed. I just can't keep. Opponent kept 7. I think we gotta keep, better chance than 4. Well, just 2 lands, Damping Sphere is just like immediately a better hand. I think I agreed knowing that our 4-card hand has no lands. I would go back and keep the 5, but yeah, sabotaged by Daybreak Games. Their deck is pretty glass cannon-y though, so if we draw a sideboard card, we can still win. Spike on the glass candy bit. I mean, calling Titan glass candy is just unhinged. It's just silly, and I'm gonna tease you for calling it glass candy. It's literally just propaganda. And someone else said, just kill the 6/6. You can't kill a 6/6. It's just ridiculous what people say about Amulet Titan. Don't ban it though, I like playing it. This is about as reasonable as it gets, I think. Although watch us win this game. It would just be pure propaganda. My opponent sent by the Titan Cabal. Oh no, I don't have a bounce land. Oh no, I don't have it. Oh no, you don't want to ban this deck. It plays Tireless Tracker. You come on, you want to ban the Tireless Tracker deck? Oh, I don't have any lands. Sir, you don't have... I don't believe that you don't have lands and you're sent by the Titan Cabal. I think I would fall for this. Curious why we're getting Final Fantasy Sports early. They always do this. They do this for every set. They do like a sneak preview and then months and then they do the full thing. They've done it this way for a while. Opponents typing in the Titan Discord. How do I throw this match? It is sad though that they have like such a like weak draw on a when we're on a Molda 3. Glass cannon. No interaction, glass cannon. It's like I'm taking crazy pills with some of the things people say. Cecil Dark Knight. 1 mana, 2/3. When it deals damage, you lose that much life. Then if your life total total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, transform it into a 4/4 lifelink. When attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible. This card's like pretty easy to flip on turn 2. I do feel like we're going to win this game. This is just one of those games you just complain your way into a victory somehow. Dude, this game is like... This was a Molda 3. My opponent's only casting the green sun now because they see I have the Force of Negation. So, this is the only reason they waited this long. Okay, so now we're not called to a single Besage you. I don't know what their last card in hand can like possibly be. It is a spell because they like spent so many times missing land drops. It's somehow not a bounce land. What are these paid actors? I'm not paying these actors. The Titan players are paying them. This is Titan propaganda. They have Force of Vigor here. I thought this deck played no interaction. Yeah, we saw the Yawgmoth's Will creature. Doesn't look amazing. Would have been better to just like discard the Nihil Spellbomb. Didn't mean to attack with the lag. I was like, whatever, we'll just send it. I was gonna say there's a lot of hate for deck that loses my Molda 3. I will say this is the worst amulet draw I've ever seen, but it also like oh, they just didn't have a land that we could never beat with Titles Tracker. Oh, they didn't cast the I'm almost conspiracy theorying here about the Titan Cabal. It's obviously not really real. All right, they reveal cast a Summoner's Pact, and now they're punting with the Summoner's Pact because of the Damping Spheres. Conveniently. Maybe not punting, but like you just can't write it, you know. Oh, okay. Oh no, I guess I have to pay next turn. I guess I'll play Lotus Field into the Damping Spheres. Oh wait, I guess this lets them cast the Titan, doesn't it, huh? Yeah, they can cast it this turn. I guess that makes sense for to be the last card. Glass Cannon. I love to argue about Magic cards on the internet. My favorite thing. Yeah, they tapped wrong. Alright, you GG's Amulet Titan. I don't think this was a super representative game for whatever it's worth. Alright, I think it's going to be it for me today. I think that's going to be it for me today.